Alright, so if you're not exactly sure if you should be summoning for Yaga and Gakuganji, I will talk about that in this video. Now, what will happen is I'll go over it very quickly, and then we'll go more into the unit kits, because I think it's very important that people understand these guys, especially Yaga, because I had someone on my showcase video saying that red Yaga was better than yellow Yaga. Now, yellow Yaga is less valuable than red Yaga because yellow Yaga is only usable on yellow, but yellow Yaga does give a bigger damage support than red Yaga, and the best case scenario, like his max value, yellow Yaga is better than red Yaga, but obviously he's an SSR, was expected, right? Now, Gakuganji, it's going to take 6 multis, which he should already be in game, but it's going to take 6 multis to pity Gakuganji, which means you gotta give at least 12,000 cubes, because it's a story event, which means you'll get 10 tickets from the event. I think, right? Where is it? Yes. I guess they don't show rewards for story events. Now, is it worth it? Personally, what I would say is for people with a low amount of cubes who summon a lot on HI, not really. Now, if you have 0 debuffers, even that's fine. And you know why? Because you're going to be in a good spot for tower. So I would say for people on low cubes, you should not go for it. And the reason is 12,000 cubes is a lot, and you're going to want to save for DE, Gojo, Sukuna, and probably more Shibuya units. I think it's better to save more for that than 1 SR debuffer. Now, if you want to give the 4 multis, go ahead. I'm just saying if you're trying to get DE, Gojo, and Sukuna, and also Shibuya units coming after it, then it's going to be tough if you do even 4 multis, right? This game is prioritizing saving. Now, if this doesn't mean anything to you and you're getting mad in the comments, well, the message isn't for you. Enjoy using Gakuganji, enjoy getting the debuffer. But the thing is, even if you don't have Degumi, guess what's coming out? There's a GSSR free-to-play multi that will allow you to get one of the 3 units that you pick. Now, you can see here, Hollow Purple, Momo, Degumi, Nanami's on it, right? So what I would do is I would select Momo, Degumi, and Hollow Purple. You either get a top-tier DPS, making tower a lot easier, or you get 2 of the supports, and then it's like, well, there's less of a need for you to have Gakuganji in those cases, right? So for low cubes amount of people, like people who have a low amount of cubes, I'd say like below 15k or even 20k, it's not worth it because you still have to scoff up 12,000 cubes. Now, if you get him in the first 2 multis, big W, by the way. But if you don't, and let's say you have like a good amount of cubes, like 30 to 50k, then you're going to be fine, because from now until first Annie, we should get about 80,000 to 90,000 cubes. It might be less because they're being scummy. So we could maybe round that down to about 75,000. And then during anniversary, a good 15 to 20,000. And then for Sukuna's release, a good 10,000. So in total, you're going to get maybe about 90 to 100,000 if you do everything that comes out, including tower. That's how much you should get. So calculate it, see if it's good enough for you for DE, Gojo, and Sukuna for yourself. And then, yeah, I mean, see if you could want to go for Gakuganji. I'd say 4 multis for him is definitely worth it. But it's prioritizing, do you want him now? Do you need him? Right? If you need a support, then maybe do those 4 multis, right? But for a lot of people on low cubes, I would suggest not doing it, even if Gakuganji is really good. Now, one thing to just put that out there also, Gakuganji is not limited, so he will be on the standard banner in the future, which for us is probably going to be in 4 to 5 months from now, just to throw that out there. He's in the next batch on JP. The next batch is 1.5 Annie, which on global should be probably sometime after May. I'd say like July. Probably. Maybe it's closer to 5 months then. Yeah, probably closer to 5 months. But yeah, no. I definitely say low cubes. If you're trying to get DE, Gojo, and Sukuna, don't go for it. But if you're only trying to go for DE, Gojo, then yeah, maybe have fun going for Gakuganji, right? And if you get Yaga, that's a W. Now, why am I going crazy over Gakuganji? We're actually going to start with him because I think most people are not really going to go for Yaga anyway if you're free to play. The main one is Gakuganji. Now, why he's so good is because he's able to do it to where he uses this turn 1, it takes 5 CE. He could turn on or off the alternating tuning state, and that makes it that it's going to switch this. So if there's no alternate tuning, he's just going to put a 37% debuff 4 times. This is Yaga, red Yaga level of support. Now, you usually do want a debuffer and a supporter, well, like a buffer, right? A buffer and a debuffer on the enemies, because that's going to give you a like pretty much a multiplicative buff, which means that it's going to, if you don't understand, because you're not a Dokkan player, obviously, but if you have a debuff like debuff damage support and buffed damage support, then it's going to give you the highest amount of damage, even if it's the same numbers. 40%, let's say all the buffs were 40%, but then half and half was 40% buffs and 40% debuffs. The like half 40% buffs and 40% debuffs, even if it's the same numbers, will actually buff you more. So having debuffers is very valuable. So if you want to do those extra 4 multis because you have the means to do it, then go ahead, right? Go ahead. I'm not stopping you because this guy's very good, and there's even one of the tower floors that will require a good amount of debuffers, right? Now, if you switch it, it becomes a stun and confusion. And now what's crazy is this is an AoE confusion for 3 turns. Really crazy, alongside AoE stun, right? I mean, listen, 130% chance AoE for 25, say less. But this being an AoE 37 support is really, really good. It does cost a lot of cursed energy though, so you're gonna need to get him duped out, but you should have shards to dupe it out just fine. Now his ult decreases the enemy's damage dealt, decreases their ult gauge if, sorry, this is if alternate tuning is not on, and this is if it's on. Actually, I think you could get both of these together, but I'm not sure. Because it doesn't say, oh no, it changes it, it doesn't add on. Sorry, I read it wrong. But yeah, so either you lower their damage or lower ult count, which are 2 very valuable things. This guy's just, like, has a lot of value, right? Even his skill 1 decreases the damage, increases, right? He's good. He has a lot of value as an SR unit. And I would definitely recommend, if you have enough cubes and you do need a debuffer because you don't have Degumi, then go for it. But if you have Degumi, then yeah, you don't even fucking need it, if I'm being honest, right? Because, I mean, listen, you need 1 debuffer for the most part. You will not be needing Gakuganji in that case. But if you do get him in the 2 ticket multis, then be happy, right? I just don't think for everyone it's good to go for the 6 multis, especially if you're trying to go for DE, Gojo, and Sukuna. Guys, if you get shafted, good luck. And if you get lucky, well, hey, you get to save for the cool ass, maybe Black Flash Mahito. Dope ass Toto, bro. I was rewatching that scene, absolutely fire. A Yuji, right? Like literally, Maharaga, another Sukuna, right? The last Nanami, like all that good shit, right? So Mei, there's a lot of units I could go on, right? So, you know, I just think it's probably better than going for a Gakuganji, especially if you have Degumi, or if you're going for both DE Gojo and Sukuna. So now that we're done that, let's go to Yaga. For like more pay to win players, that's when you're summoned for Yaga. If not, you don't summon for Yaga. Okay, that's basically it. Because if you're not a pay to win player, it's just not worth it. He's a mono unit that does a lot, right? This is 45%, right? But then you're stacking this alongside a multiplicative 46% buff, right? But then one of your yikes. Someone's gonna, don't put that in the timestamp, by the way. But then you're stacking this alongside 50%, 30%. The ult itself is giving 80% on 1 turn for 4 turns, alongside this, right? So in that 1 turn, you're giving all allies 120%. Insane, right? And then you got this, and then more than that, there's the, what's it called? Darkness, which is basically, there's a chance that the enemy won't act, which is essentially chance to stun. Like, you could look at it that way, right? For 1 turn. Very good. This guy's amazing. This is single target, but who fucking cares? Usually the boss is the only one that matters, and I did a showcase on him. Check it out if you want. But yeah, no, like, he's very good for mono yellow, but it's just not worth it for most people. Amazing support. Overall better than Red Yaga, like I said, but less valuable than Red Yaga, because Red Yaga is an SR, first of all, and also could be used on any color, where he's only yellow. Because if he's off yellow, like off yellow cannot make use of this, cannot make use of this. It just lowers his overall value quite a bit. But he is a phenomenal unit, especially because of the darkness. So both are good units, but this is only a pay to win unit. If you are a pay to win, then yeah, have fun going for him. But if not, stick to Gakuganji if you even want to summon. I would say skip, but if you want to summon, go ahead. You're gonna have 20 pulls anyway, so that's good. 10 tickets from this and 10 tickets from the story event. Big W. So I'll see you guys in the next one. Let me know what you're doing, and have a good one.